All the celebrities of the American theater community gathered this past weekend for the Tony Awards, a night of music, pageantry, and awards honoring the very best actors and singers and writers our country has to offer. The broadcast won rave reviews and a big television audience, but there was one thing missing. No one paid tribute during the broadcast to the little Eastern Shore town of Punjateague, Virginia. Why Punjateague, Virginia? We have just the man to explain here with us, the author of Secrets of the Eastern Shore, Jim Duffy. How are you, Jim?
Good afternoon.
It's
Great to be here.
To see you. Now, I got to ask you, I know this is a silly little question. No, it's not either. Punjateague, Virginia. Why?
Punjateague, Virginia. It starts like a bad joke. A guy walks into a bar. The year is 1665. His name is Edward Martin, and the name of the bar in Punjateague, Virginia, is Folks Tavern.
Okay.
He walks in, and he's in the middle of a theatrical performance. It's called Ye Bear and Ye Cub. No one knows what this play was about. There's no script that survived. There's no summary of it that survived.
Okay.
There's nothing that survived. But
Just
what
know
we
that it was
do
there.
know is that it was the very first recorded theater performance in the British colonies, which means that the American theater was born in Punjateague, Virginia.
Oh my goodness. Well, now I got to ask you the question though. If we don't have anything left of the play, and we don't know anything about the play, how do we know about the play?
This is the fun part. This was also not just the birth of American theater. It was the birth of American theater criticism, because Edward Martin despised the play. He hated it. He did not have a tool like Facebook or Twitter to go on and tell everyone how horrible it was.
Okay.
So what he did was he went to the local law enforcement and demanded that the actors be arrested. He wanted them charged with public wickedness, which was basically blasphemy. Now that's a little vague. It could have been because they were performing on a Sunday, and he took offense to that. He was a very deeply religious Quaker guy. What we do know is that the actors got arrested. They were in jail for an extended period of time because they couldn't make bail. They eventually made bail.
And how did the entire case go against?
1665 is very early. None of these towns had courthouses and things like that yet.
Okay.
So what used to happen is the judges would ride from town to town on horseback, and then they'd get off and then they'd hear a trial. Now, where do you think they would have a trial in a town without a courthouse? They did it right in the same place, that same Folks Tavern.
In the bar.
Is where they did the trial, in the bar. And the judges demanded that the actors put on their costumes and perform the play for them. And there's little records about the trial, none of them giving any summary of the play, unfortunately. The judges said, there's nothing wrong with this play, and they let the actors go. Then they demanded that Edward Martin come back, and they fined him and made him pay all the court costs for wasting everyone's time, which is another reason why they really should mention this on the Tony Awards, because you'd think that all these actors and all these writers would just love that last little plot twist, that the critic was the villain of the piece and had to pay up in the end.
Had to pay up. Okay, maybe next year for the Tonys, they'll mention Punjateague.
It would be about time.
The man who sees all and knows all, the Secrets of the Eastern Shore author, Mr. Jim Duffy. Thank you again for another wonderful story. My goodness.